welcome to Cover Story. This is election time. This is the time when politicians make glib promises to the public, promises which they may or may not keep. So this week we are focusing on a story where a politician made a promise, not to the public but to his own child, and then failed to keep it. This is the story of ND Tiwari, who took over 3 decades to acknowledge his own child. So our focus here is not really on the moral of the story, but on the larger question. If such a senior politician fails to keep a promise he made to his own family, then how do we expect politicians like this to keep a promise they make to the general public? Do you see anything wrong with these pictures? It seems to be a happy, loving family, but that's only the surface gloss. In reality, it has taken over 3 decades of denial for this Congress veteran who has been a former cabinet minister, a former governor and a former chief minister to accept and admit that this is his own family. But at 89 years, Tiwari finally decided to seal the bond with a fatherly hug.
कोई भी किसी प्रकार का भी विवाद अब नहीं रहा और ये हमारे परिवार के सदस्य की तरह हमेशा थे, हैं और रहेंगे.
But for Tiwari's son Rohit Shekhar, who has been fighting a long court battle for the last 6 years, it's been a long and painful journey, one that has drained him both physically and emotionally. For 35-year-old Rohit Shekhar has been fighting for what should have been rightfully his own father. Even now, though the battle has been won, the scars continue to hurt. You've been fighting a very long fight. जो fight आपने कर रहे हैं between paternity and legitimacy, it's a very good argument that you've taken, but it's also taken a lot of emotional strain on you. I have to ask you that very cliched question, but with you it takes on a whole new meaning. How are you feeling today?
I am. There are so many litigants. On behalf of so many litigants, I feel the pain because we don't know what is happening. The next day we don't know what is happening. That is the pain, ma'am, which through you, I hope it is felt by everyone. मुझे कुछ नहीं पता. मैंने कहा कि मैं ईमानदारी से एक बार उनके चरण छूऊं और उनके साथ रहूं और मेरे मन में कुछ नहीं है. The story begins in the mid-70s when Ujjwala Sharma, the daughter of then Defence Minister Sher Singh, met ND Tiwari, a young MLA from UP. At that time, Ujjwala was separated from her husband and she soon got into a relationship with ND Tiwari. Although ND Tiwari was also married at that time, he soon persuaded Ujjwala into giving him an heir, promising a divorce which never really happened. For long, Rohit only knew of his father as a kind uncle, an uncle who had been there for him on all important occasions from birthdays to Diwalis, who even sang him lullabies from the film Noori. Years later, when Rohit learnt about the identity of his father, he waited for his father to acknowledge him. Finally, in desperation, he moved the courts and demanded uncle as a family friend. He sang Lodis to you. Do you remember anything of that childhood? Yes.
क्या याद है?
है, you are all right. You are right. But he has crushed all that. We have gone beyond that.
Rohit and his mother may stand vindicated today, but the fight has been long and crushing, especially for Ujjwala, who for the sake of her son's mental stability stood by his side, braved social stigma and finally emerged vindicated.
My mother has been a wonderful influence on me, and she's a modern person.
She's a strong person. Tell me about your mother.
She's modern. People keep on saying we are modern and they would have a complex, we are modern. She's a modern person, human being. Something like Mrs. Kamini Jaiswal ma'am and Indra Jaisingh ji said, that is a good thing, it is happening. कि तुमने चाहे ये सब चाहे मैं हंसते थे आपस में, कम से कम तुम लोग सामने लेके आए. मैं अपनी माँ की दाद देता हूँ कि उन्होंने ये हिम्मत की. ये मामूली बात नहीं है. जैसे आप अगर गैर मामूली मानते हैं, गैर मामूली कोई मानता है तो मान ले. ये बात मामूली है, अच्छा हुआ है.
As Rohit claims, this case has not only been for him and his mother, but will also help set the right precedent.
ये एक बहुत अध्याय खत्म हुआ है, इसको होने दीजिए. और ना ये त्रिशूल में हुआ, त्रिशूल में भी क्या हुआ, देखिए संजीव कुमार मर गया, त्रिशूल में मर गया, अमिताभ बच्चन भी मर गया. जैसे उसको पता है मेरा बेटा है, लेकिन नरेंद्र तिवारी जी ने मैंने मनवाया, मेरी माँ ने मनवाया. ये शब्द ही हट जाएंगे। कोई बच्चा नाजायज नहीं, कोई बच्चा नहीं मैम, कोई नहीं मैम।
While Rohit was too overwrought to talk much, it was his mother, a very candid Ujjwala Sharma, who told us about the trauma that both she and her son suffered to get ND Tiwari to finally acknowledge his own son. We have with us Dr. Ujjwala Sharma, who's also fought a very long and hard case, bitter case for her son and herself against ND Tiwari. First of all, ma'am, congratulations. Although the legal verdict, थोड़ा सा हमें केस के बारे में समझाएंगे, because what I understand the legal verdict came 2 years ago, I think, DNA का, फिर भी उनको 2 साल लगे to acknowledge him.
ये देखिए verdict तो DNA test जो है, being a scientific test, it is regarded as most conclusive evidence.
Right.
It has been regarded, but legal process has to take so many things into consideration, even the cross-examination. Even the recording of the evidence of all the parties, the plaintiff and the defendants. So it took time. It had to take some time, but it took much more than the reasonable time that was required for it, because Mr. Tiwari was trying to always drag it by filing some or the other frivolous application that he wants another chance to come for the trial, for the recording of the evidence. He did not, somehow he did not appear. Now you ask me the next question, finally what happened? He gave the application, applied again one application for the mediation, which was rejected. The consent was not given by me and Rohit, both of us, because we took the stand that there is nothing left for mediation, because you can't say that 50% you will adopt, you will own the child, and you will reject the child 50%. So there is no midway. Either you say that he is my son, or you say, as you have been saying. So there is no midway. So what for the mediation? There is no issue.
Right.
Or because the Rohit Shekhar has asked only for the name, nothing else, just to restore the dignity for himself, his dignity and the dignity of the whole family, and to establish and prove the truth. And some feelers were coming to me that now this mediation application, what I thought that now he is in a mood to reconcile. So when I learned that he is in Delhi through some reliable sources, because many messages were coming to me that he is wanting some final reconciliation and all that. So I thought it's better I shall inquire. So somebody told me that he is staying, he is admitted in AIMS for routine, for I don't know, he is admitted, that much I came to know. And I thought, as a matter of courtesy, I will just go. I have not met him for last 9 years. Let me see. So I have heard that he is not keeping well. He's
89 years old.
He's 89 years old. So I thought, let me take an opportunity to meet him. I went there. I found that he has been discharged in the evening. On Saturday evening, he was discharged. And then somebody told me that now he's staying in Uttarakhand Southern. So the next day, on Sunday evening, I just took a chance. I was just going, and Mr. Tiwari was going out for attending some meeting. So it was just a chance that I saw him and he also saw me. And I said, Tiwari ji, namaskar. मैं आपका स्वास्थ्य के बारे में मैं पूछने आई हूँ, आपकी हेल्थ के बारे में इंक्वायर करने आई हूँ. तो कहने लगे, अरे नहीं आप अंदर बैठिए, मैं अभी आ रहा हूँ, मैं प्रोग्राम में जा रहा हूँ. मैंने कहा ठीक है, आप अपनी मीटिंग को अटेंड कर लीजिए, एंड देन व्हेन यू कम बैक देन वी कैन मीट, वी कैन सिट. आई एम रेडी टू वेट. सो आई वाज वेटिंग, and his OSD asked me to sit, and he welcomed. Actually, all the atmosphere was that of welcome. So Mr. Tiwari came back within 15 minutes time, return. And then I told him, then why you have come so early? You should have attended your meeting and then come back. Then he said, no, this issue is more important for me.
Finally.
Then I thought that there is something, some wisdom has prevailed upon the gentleman. So then he started saying that what is this happening? आप लोगों ने कोई कंसेंट भी नहीं दी है। मैंने कहा तिवारी जी इट्स नॉट अ इशू फॉर मीडिएशन, आपने करना है तो काहे को ये कॉम्प्लिकेट हो रहा है, लेकिन मैं उसके लिए नहीं आई हूँ बिकॉज द मैटर इज सब जुडिस, लेकिन मैं आपसे कोई उसके बारे में बात नहीं करने आई हूँ, आपकी हेल्थ के बारे में इंक्वायर करने आई हूँ। तो कहने लगे कि रोहित कैसा है। देन आई टोल्ड हिम कि रोहित की हेल्थ जो है वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड है और काफ़ी टेंशन से जा रहा है, गुजर रहा है, और उसको हार्ट अटैक भी हुआ है, ब्रेन स्ट्रोक भी हुआ है, तो वो काफ़ी डिस्टर्ब, काफ़ी परेशान रहता है, तनाव में भी रहता है। मैंने कहा इट्स नॉट गुड फॉर हिम टू रिमेन ऑलवेज इन टेंशन। तो देन ही स्टार्टेड, यू नो, ही वो टीयर्स रोल्ड डाउन हिज, यू नो, ऐसे उनके मतलब रोने लग गए, वो सजल नेत्र हो गए उनके। तो मैंने कहा अच्छा यू आर क्राइंग ऑल्सो एंड यू आर सो इमोशनल अबाउट द इशू एंड देन you have rejected also, I can't understand this. Okay. So then he said no, I will go and meet, please take me to defense colony, I want to meet Rohit. So then I thought, I requested Rohit, मैंने कहा Rohit you come back. Initially he was not willing to come, but then somehow I succeeded in persuading him. It's very difficult to persuade him, but somehow I succeeded, and I told him that better you come because he's the infirmities of the old age is there.
So you're still giving him that respect.
You see, he can't walk properly.
He can't.
Two people have to lift him and make him walk, you know. I have seen it with when I saw him like that. So naturally consideration to hota hi hai, देखिए. So then I told better you come. So he came there, and then again Mr. Tiwari said that what you want. So he said that as you have been rejecting me either that this way or that way, so the battle is going on. So he said no, but you have never accepted me in public. You have been telling me when I am sitting with you in the confines of your house in one room that you resemble me a lot, you are my son and all that, but the moment you go out, you behave indifferently, as if you don't even know me. So it's very hurting experience for me. So that is what he said. So he said, no, I'll make it public. So right now I am ready. At 11:30 he says I am ready. It's all God's grace. Even I never expected that it will take such just sudden turn like this. You know, I never expected.
Do you see this as a happy ending? Do you see Rohit meeting ND Tiwari?
Of course, to a great extent. I think it's a, if not totally satisfied, but to a great extent. At least it's a good beginning.
That's a good thought. But just to go back a bit to the past about Rohit, you know, just to understand his mindset, he's had a very emotional childhood.
Yes.
You know, when he grew up, when he first learned ND Tiwari is his father, he used to first treat him as an uncle, I think.
Yes.
So can you take us through that time? How he tried to reach out to him?
He used to think that जैसे हमारे यहाँ सब लोग आते रहते हैं, visitors आते रहते हैं, his family friends keep coming, he is one of them. But then later on he realized that he has been coming almost, जब teens में पहुंचा तो वो समझने लगा कि almost every year he is on my birthday and not on my elder brother's birthday. So why this distinction? So all these questions were there, and he is bringing gifts for me and taking me for a ride on the state plane and all that. So naturally the questions were there in his mind, and then he ultimately asked, and my mother told him that this is your relationship and he will adopt you.
So how did Rohit react after that? Did he confront Mr. Tiwari about the relationship?
He was too young at that time. Yes, he realized, but he was more engrossed in his studies and all that, you know. He did not take it that seriously. Maybe some internal conflict might be going on in his mind, which he has at times shared with me, but I just don't remember exactly what he said
at that time. But he's also saying that, you know, he's been praising you, that my mother is the strong one, the one, you know, he's also fighting for you. I think what is your, I mean, you obviously have a very close rapport, the two of you. You've been there for each other.
Yes. Being a mother, it was obligatory for me to support him, because whatever, it was because I trusted a man blindly. So whatever has happened in his life, for that I am responsible for to a very great extent.
Ma'am, आपने trust की issue raise करी, which I find as the crux of this whole issue.
Yes.
You trusted somebody like him.
Yes.
What made you trust him?
Like Mr. Tiwari.
जी.
So Mr. Tiwari, a thorough gentleman, appears to be a thorough gentleman, and he is a gentleman, no doubt about it. But his attitude, as far as the personal life is concerned, was very callous and very dismissive. But otherwise, everyone knows that he is a leader in his own right. Everyone knows that. So it was not wrong for me to trust him. I don't think, because the society and the relationships, such intimate relationships go on trust only. Because two individuals, if they get married, there is a trust. They trust each other, and then they enter into a relationship. And there also, there is every chance कि आपको धोखा हो जाए.
You met him at your father's house, so he was obviously someone जो घर आते थे, and people knew him.
Yes.
And at that time you were separated.
He was MLA also from UP. He was MLA at that time, and I was in a failed relationship with my husband, and he knew it. And he gradually came to know it because he was coming very often to my parents' residence, the official residence that was given to my father, because he was a minister in center.
Yes.
So he was coming very regularly. So he also asked me to assist him in, he was president of Jawaharlal Nehru National Youth Center. And he always used to ask me that to take interest in the activities. And that is how, the frequent meeting, first because of these activities was there, and then it somehow culminated into intimate relationship. And the initial step, or advances were made by only him. That's what I wanted to convey you. Yes.
No, I'm sure. But did he promise anything, marriage or something, or did he say,
Yes,
I want
did.
a son?
No.
Because he has no children.
He has no children, but he too was in a failed marriage. He was not very happy in his marriage. So I told him that better would be that you also get divorced from your wife, and I also get divorced from my husband, and then it is better to enter this kind of, it's a very, very serious decision, and it should be taken only after that. So then somehow he was successful in assuring me that since you are above 30, I am also above 50, and maybe that at a later stage, childbearing may be
difficult later.
There might be some difficulty in that, because he was quite apprehensive. He could not have child from his wife, so he thought that maybe it. Otherwise, why a person will go to the extent of having a child and proposing for a child to have,
Right.
Then I had all the more confidence in him.
That he wants a son, he wants an heir.
That means he wants a family relationship. अगर कोई मान लीजिए इतनी दूर तक ना जाए, बच्चे तक ना जाए, तब इंसान सोचेगा कि हो सकता है कि इसमें कुछ सुपरफिशियलिटी भी हो सकती है, कोई ऊपर कोई फ्लर्टेशन हो सकता है. लेकिन एक इंसान जब एक इनोसेंट बच्चे की लाइफ को इन्वॉल्व कर रहा है, तो हाउ कुड आई इमेजिन
that he would turn up.
Yes, and he is childless also. And he always used to talk of this, that I am issueless, I always feel it, and he used to cry also at times. So it was very natural for me to have, to trust him.
Yes. When Rohit was born, did he spend time with him? Did he come and meet him?
Yes. At the initial stage, he used to take him to Pragati Maidan and here and there, and to the exhibitions. Both of us, we used to go for outings with Rohit. And when he was growing, even after he became minister in the center, when Rohit was 1 year old, he came in central politics. Before that, he was in UP. And he said that Rohit has proved to be a very lucky child for me, because now I am in center. But somehow after getting seat in cabinet, after becoming cabinet minister, he just he started ignoring. and being evasive. I don't know what was the reason. But he kept on, he always, it was a very confounding behavior.
But what made you go, going to the courts and also in a way bringing this out in the public? That was a bold step and a strong step, I think, from your part per se. You've undertaken a lot, because a lot of people don't come out with things like this. But what made you decide?
Actually, even I didn't come out initially, because in 1995, Mr. Tiwari had, totally tried to get rid of us.
I see.
Yes, because I was always, maybe it was to the extent of nagging, it appeared. I was telling him that now he's 14, 15, now you must adopt him. After, when he grows 18, you will not be able to adopt him. So he was, then ultimately he thought that now she knows that I will not be able to convince her any further. So he thought it's better to get rid of. But he could never think that Rohit will react like this, to this extent.
Even after the court said yes, the DNA test is proved positive. There's another very interesting case that Rohit has fought, which is that children are not illegitimate. It's the parents who are, and he wanted certain words to be taken out of the vocabulary. Like say harami or whatever children are called. So
yes, illegitimate, bastard, whatever. Such words, and for women there's unchaste. For man there is no word.
Right.
So why this discrimination? Because in our constitution, parity has to be, there should not be any discrimination on basis of gender and all that. That is what he said, that I am going to file a PIL also on this. He plans for that also. He's planning.
He's planning to file something. Yes. But socially, how did you, once all this came out from your friends, family, because you were living through it, that time it was not so modern, that people were not so, how did you handle
somehow,
it? We know Rohit, but how about you?
Somehow, as far as my friends and family is concerned, they're very progressive people, very nice people. And
you got a lot of support.
I got moral support from them. And if someone gave any remark or any comment, they were so distant that it didn't bother me.
And finally today, how are you feeling now that he has publicly acknowledged? Do you see the three of you being a family, or how do you see things progressing, and how are you feeling today?
I am feeling very much relieved from the tension, because Rohit was undergoing great tension and trauma, and now he also feels relieved. Though he is not yet reconciled to the reality, and he thinks that maybe that there is some ambiguity still persists as far as from side of Mr. Tiwari. Some reservation is there, he felt like that. But I told him, look here, things will be settled slowly and gradually, not instantly, it always takes time. Yes.
But you've forgiven Mr. Tiwari?
Of course, I have forgiven, because he has acknowledged the truth. This was minimum I was expecting from him. Maximum there is no limit, but at least the minimum. He has taken a very positive step, a step in a very positive direction.
Yes. Thank you so much. I know this has been a very difficult conversation for you, but thank you for being so candid and talking to us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You gave me the opportunity to share my experiences with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Clearly, it took a lot for both Rohit and Ujjwala to make this fight public. But as Rohit Shekhar keeps reminding us, there is a difference between paternity and legitimacy, between illegitimate children and illegitimate parents. Well, that's all for this week. Thank you for watching Cover Story, and we'll see you again same time next week.